I feel like when it comes to X books, I cover more than most YouTubers do. And unfortunately, in this issue, there is the one X book, well, not the one, there's a few X books I don't cover, but one in particular one that I decided, you know what, I don't think that's going to be too important. Yeah, it was. Should have covered it, but I didn't. So now I'm going to have to ask for you guys for some help to fill in the blanks. I won't say what it is yet, we'll get into it once we get to it. Support the comic book industry by visiting your local comic book store. My name is Doran. This is SCN Comics. We are continuing our coverage of Exceptional X-Men with number 9. Our story starts off with the last one left off. We're in a Chicago coffee shop, and the fake Axel has just melted. So Melee and Bronze are coming up with a horrible story to convince the people that are in the coffee shop of what just happened. They start off by saying it's not what it looks like, but it is. And then they say that this is a school project from computer science. And then another one says art and design. So then they're like computer science, art and design, advanced placement. And as Bronze changes into Bronze so that she can use her whips to gather up this fake ass Axel, one dude's like, is your friend turning into a robot? Is that like a part of the project? I would have been like, no, she's a mutant, dummy. Like, you live in this world where there are mutants. So Melee just goes with it and she's like, oh yeah, that's what she just did. And then one dude in the business who was like, wow, advanced placement, huh? And then they just walk out. So once they get outside, they're like, we need to make it back to the dojo with this dude. So Bronze is like, it's time we whip out the Bronze Melee combo move. And Melee's like, is that where you throw me and I face you something? And Bronze's like, no, that's a Melee Bronze combo move. So then Melee's like, oh, that's right. That's where you carry something and then I make us invisible. Which got me to thinking, like, I don't think Kitty can go invisible. I know she can phase, but I don't think she can turn invisible. So Melee is like a mixture between the Invisible Woman and Kitty Pryde. If she can ever stop being a hothead, whew, this girl can be dangerous. So anyway, they make their way back to the dojo, and I guess they're not being seen. So then we cut to Kitty, who is trying to call Melee, but she can't answer because she's using both her hands. And she's also ignoring phone calls from her boo thing, which will probably be an issue later. So Melee and Bronze are complaining about Kitty. Kitty's complaining about Melee and Bronze. And then they just happen to bump into each other. And because Melee and Bronze are invisible, Kitty is sitting there and it's like, ugh, what was that gooey stuff? She's about to find out. So once we get back to the dojo, Kitty's like, okay. So the Bronze is like, that's not Axel, right? And Emma's like, no, that is not him. It has a vague outline of what we would call a sentient being, but it is definitely not Axel. So Iceman brings up the resurrection disease, which you probably found out from Beast because, it's their boys, original X-Men and all. And if you don't know what that is, Magneto is currently suffering from it. Link to the playlist at X-Men will be in the description. So Emma shuts that down quick, and she's like, he was never on Krakoa. This is his original body, so it can't be that. So Kitty asks Melee and Bronze, where's the last place that you saw Axel acting normal? And they go, Sheldon Xenos. And then Kitty goes, SX. Axis. That mother Mr. Sinister. And the look on her face, and she turns red. I'm like, oh. If you guys remember reading more X-Men, then you know how much Kitty hates Mr. Sinister. Emma's in that same boat because she was on the Quiet Council too. But yeah, Mr. Sinister, it's not like person. So then Kitty's like, all right, who got the computer? Melee breaths out hers. Kitty starts doing her thing. Melee's like, hacker? Kitty? And Emma's like, Caitlin has lived many lives. So Kitty, Emma, and Iceman get in uniform. Well, Iceman just turns to ice. And they're like, all right, we're out. You guys stay here. So, of course, Melee's pissed, and Katie's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. All right? This is Mr. Sinister. He will kill you, and then he'll go to work on you. You're staying right here because this is the one place I know that you can stay alive. So, Bronze and Melee are chilling. Some time passed. More time passed in the training. More time passed, and they're like, this sucks. All of a sudden, somebody says, it does, doesn't it? And it's Iceman. So Melee is like, Bobby, where the others at? And he's like, there's no time. Don't ask any questions. We need you. Come on, let's go. And he grabs him up. Meanwhile, Kitty, Iceman, and Emma find Mr. Sinister's secret elevator. It's a biometric panel. Kitty's like, just give me a minute. I can hack into it. And Emma's like, just no need. Sorry, moving. And all of a sudden, the elevator opens up, and all you hear is Caitlin, Robert, and Miss Frost. You're just in time to witness the coordination of Alejandro's internship. So Kitty runs to Axel to try to help him, and Mr. Sinister punches the Jesus out of Bobby. I mean, knocks him, I guess can't really say cold because he's already cold, but yeah, he punches the hell out of him. And then Emma does her thing and freezes Mr. Sinister in place. And it's like, don't move. So then Emma tells Kitty, if you phase Axel out of that thing, his mental state is pretty much going to be a vegetable. So they're going to have to coordinate to get him out of there without him not turning into a vegetable. So Bobby starts to freeze Mr. Sinister in place using his ice powers, and Katie's like, that's not going to hold him. And Bobby's like, you got to have a little bit more faith, especially considering that I just suffered a concussion. So yes, Mr. Sinister punched the Jesus out his ass. So all of a sudden, Browns and Melee show up, and Kitty and Emma's like, what are you doing here? So the Mr. Sinister is like, Bobby Drake, man of the magical ice decoys, you were the one who got away. Except with a few careful preserved shards. See, Iceman number 5. See, that's what I was talking about earlier. Unfortunately, I decided to skip the Iceman series, and now it's kicking me in the butt. So if anybody wants to give us an update on that, I appreciate it. So he pretty much cloned Iceman, and now Iceman's fighting himself. And he's like, absolutely fucking not. So Ice is going everywhere, and Kitty goes to Browns, and Melee's like, take cover. And Emma's like, hey, Kitty, I need you here. And they're like, it's okay, Kitty. We can take care of ourselves. And they cannot, because fake-ass Iceman freezes the bejesus out their ass. So Kitty's now in shock, and Emma's like, hey, Kitty, you need to snap out of it because we're losing Axel. And she's like, but they can suffocate. Which I never really thought about that when people get frozen in ice, but yeah, it makes sense. So Mr. Sinister breaks out the ice, and he tries to kick Emma, and she blocks it because she went into her diamond form. And then Emma's like, look, Kitty, this is what they train for. They're X-Men. So Emma's like, all right, phase him through as soon as I find a good memory to anchor him in. She finds a memory, and it's pretty much all of them sitting down and enjoying each other's company as they eat a meal. And then as soon as Emma finds that, Kitty phases him out. So the Iceman punches the hell out of the fake Iceman and pretty much takes him out. And Melee does her thing and phases both her and Bronze out of the ice. So the Mr. Sinister sees Bronze and Melee and is like, oh, I can't wait to experiment on you two. So then Bobby tries to stop him and start using his ice powers. And I don't know why they're not working on Mr. Sinister. Because Mr. Sinister just snatches him up like he is nothing. Like, can we go back into how Iceman is a mega level mutant? Like, he's a mega level mutant. There is no upper limit to his ice powers. So why is Mr. Sinister treating him like this? Like, can somebody please tell me this? So then he starts using some other powers that I guess he put on himself and starts levitating both Bronze and Melee. And he's like, these two are mine. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. So now, of course, Kitty's having regrets for training these guys because this is the one thing that she didn't want to happen, and now it's happening. And Emma turns to her and is like, no, you did the right thing. Besides, I got your back, darling. This is what I do, especially when it comes to the children. And she jumps all in Mr. Sinister's head. So the Mr. Sinister is like, no. I've had my mind messed with too many times with you telepaths. I'm ready for you this time. Emma's like, oh, you are, huh? She goes, Axel, let me borrow your part for a second. Takes that power, jumps into his head, takes Mr. Sinister out. So Bronze and Melee is like, you got him, Emma. He's down for the count. And all of a sudden, Emma starts grabbing her head, and then she's down for the count. What the hell's going on?